Hey there, guys, it's Mia here, and I am so excited. I am so excited about this live today. I'm going to share very simply, or the title of this live today is that the rules were never created for us, so stop following them. The rules don't apply to you, so stop following them. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. I started my company 20 plus years ago, and I made a decision that the rules on how to earn or how to follow my dream, they didn't apply to me, and I needed to stop following what everybody else told me to do. Now, here are one of the rules that you likely have heard. My parents said this to me growing up. Education is the key to your success, and get as much education as you can and merge it with your passion, and you'll be able to do what you love to do the way you love to do it. And I know that many of you listening to me right now are thinking, I have checked all of those boxes. I have done exactly that thing. And I've realized that just because I've gotten a lot of education, it doesn't mean that had the opportunity to do what I'm passionate about. Or you may say, I am doing what I am passionate about and using my education, but I'm not doing it in a way that really gets me stoked up, and I don't feel completely fully expressed doing what I want to do. And I see this a lot with women who have been in their careers for years. They started off really great, and then they're in that place in their life where they're saying, I am not doing what I want to do that will fulfill the calling that's on my life, the thing that I know that I'm meant for, the thing that I know that when I do it over and over again, I'm able to change and affect the lives of others and create impact. I'm not using my education and my passion that way. All right. If that's you, hang in there. Number two, maybe it's getting the right position would set you up for the rest of your life. Like maybe I heard this growing up that look, you're going to settle into the right company, the right position, and you're going to be set. And while that might be true for a percentage of individuals, the vast majority of us have learned, if not previously, but currently, there's a lot of uncertainty because maybe what you thought was certain was your position, was your role, and now you realize you have like no control over your life. But we can talk about how to change that. See, the rules were never written for you. So stop trying to follow them. I'm going to explain that more in a minute. Or maybe it was the rule that you could write your own ticket, right? Without any caps. And so somehow you believed you would earn more, you'd have more control over your time and your freedom, you'd have more control over your productivity, what you got to do, your creativity at work, and you realize like I'm not able to do the things that I really want to do, or I'm not able to make and earn the kind of money that I thought I wanted to because I am capped out. Or maybe you're capped out is the fact that the person that you're working with keeps you in a smaller box because you're so brilliant and amazing. Yes, I did say that. The rules were never made for you, okay? So stop following them. I started my company 20 years ago. I made a decision. I did not want to follow the rules anymore. I wanted to figure out for myself how to leverage my background as a corporate trainer, how to package my skills in training and development, and start my own company. And I did exactly that. Fast forward, I've had the opportunity to coach thousands of women literally all around the world, doing what I absolutely love to do. And the coolest thing is I had the opportunity to do it on my own terms, to structure the business around my life, which if you followed any of my live videos, you know that one of the reasons that I built my business was so that I could be the kind of mom that I want to be, so that I had the time and the freedom for my family to show up in ways that I couldn't accomplish in my work life. And maybe you've thought exactly the same thing, that you love what you do. You just don't like how you have to do it, and that you've had to give up a lot of the things that matter the most to you, and you're ready to change that. If that's you, I'm going to be talking directly to you. When I made that decision, I wanted a couple of things. I didn't want a cap on my income. I didn't want my income to be based solely on my ability to perform. And I also didn't want someone else to determine my value. And if that's you, I want you to write hashtag that's me. I did not want that. I didn't want a cap. I think if you're brilliant and you're amazing, there shouldn't be a cap on your income. And yet, for so many of us, it is just the truth. And I also wanted to be able to do what I call purpose driven work for me. So there are things that we each have inside of us that affect change. And there's something that you do right now that's your brilliance, that when you do those things, that subset of things for others, you create consistent and amazing results. And it gets you really stoked. It was my calling, my life purpose. And I wanted to do those things. And I didn't want to spend my time in mastery of things that I didn't want to do, that it wasn't my sweet spot, or that someone externally decided these are the list of tasks you're going to do. I wanted to zone in specifically and do the thing I was called to do. And I've done actually all of those things in my own business. My clients, many of them, when they've come to me, didn't have a product, didn't have a service, or maybe they were underselling, undervaluing themselves, trading time for dollars. Maybe they had the education, the background, the expertise, but they didn't know exactly how to package it into a high value product that would fully honor and value their gifts and their talents. And maybe they just didn't even understand how to structure with the right models the options that were available to them. And I've been able to show them how to take the lid off, the cap off of their income. And whether it was, earning an extra 10K a month, or in many cases, clients who've gone on to hit 6 and 7 figures, the reality is the sky is the limit once you get clear on what you have in your hands. So I'm going to talk about that today. The live today is going to shake your shoulders. And for some of you, it might step on your toes a little bit, but if it gets you to take an action, then I've done exactly what I'm here to do today. The title is The Rules Were Never Made for Us, so stop following them. And so the first thing that I want you to keep in mind, if you've been this rule follower and it's not working for you, is number one, understand this. You are meant to be in a category of one. And a lot of times, the reason that life is where it is right now is because you're in a category of many. You're meant to be in a category of one. When you look at your expertise, your gifts, and your talents, instead of you trying to do what everybody else is doing, it's time for you to really look at your uniqueness, your gifts, and your talents in a completely different way and think about, why are you here? What is it that you do that's different from every single person else, even if they do some things that are similar? Here's the truth. I have people who I have the opportunity to speak with who are thinking of coaching with me, and they'll say, "Me, I want to work with you, but there is this other coach, and she does like what you do, but she's maybe less. She might be 5 grand less, 10 grand less, or whatever it is." And then I'll say, "Okay, well, if she does what I do for 10 grand less, that is who you should work with." Because one of the things that I recognize, and I want you to recognize, is that I'm in a category of one. I have had the ability to consistently support women who are smart and sharp, who are action takers, who are investment minded, and show them what it is that they have inside of themselves, the gifts, the talents, the experience, and how to package it to a high value product. And I have been able to consistently help women who had no idea, no plan, no niche of how they were going to structure their experience from work, their expertise into their own business, create significant success. So the reality is, for me and for you, is that's a category of one. And certainly I could say, hey, I'm a business coach and someone else is a business coach. But the reality is, if they don't have those kind of results, we're not in the same category, in the category of one. And I want you to think about this right now. I want you to think about, what is the category that you're in? What is your category of one? You can write it here also, because a lot of times we don't think of our talent and our skill that way, but it's important, because the reason that someone's going to want to work with you when you launch your business in a huge way is because of the results and the transformation that only you can bring. And then number two, the second thing that I want you to understand as it relates to not following these rules anymore because they don't apply to you is that you are meant to lead from the front. And I have been talking about leading from the front for a million years. Reality is, so many people looking to have their dreams validated. They want to see someone else do it. They want to see proof of concept that it will work. But what I learned years ago, starting my business 20 some years ago as a mom coach, was there were no mom coaches for me to follow. And if I decided to wait for someone else to lead, I still would be waiting. Okay. I decided to lead from the front. I took my talents and my skills and I put them to work for me. And I want you to do the same. It is the mentality that the women that we watch, the women that you admire the most, all have led from the front. And the reality is that you were meant to broker that thing with your talent, your gifts, and your education. You weren't meant to sit on the sidelines. You weren't meant to Google search what other people are doing. You weren't meant to externally expect others to tell you what is your highest and tallest gifts and strengths. The reason I love working with the women that I work with, they're smart, they're sharp, they're highly actionable, they're very investment minded, they already have the giftedness. What they need is the structure, the models on how they can no longer have caps on their income, how to build a business around their life and their priorities first, and the most profitable structures to be able to launch what they do. They might need some insight in terms of what the possibilities look like, but let's be clear, you are sure about what it is that you do that's amazing already, right? Are we clear? The third thing I want you to keep in mind in understanding why the rules don't apply to you is the thing that makes you scarce is the thing that makes you valuable. And I think a lot of times people forget this, and it's the reason why so many people want to do what everyone else is doing. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I want to do what I'm really great at doing. And I want to go deep on those things. I want to focus on my mastery, the things that if I'm working with you right now and you don't know how to close your clients, meaning for high ticket, you don't know what to say, you don't know how to structure an offer, you don't know, what to ask these clients or how to overcome objections. You're really uncomfortable around that. And my mastery is teaching people who don't know how to sell. Or maybe it's that, you are looking to figure out how to charge and value what you do because you've always been charging by the hour, $150, $250 an hour. And now it's time to shift that mentality and you're not really sure which way to go to value what you do. I love being able to support my clients and being able to understand why their value is theirs. It's not something that you Google search. It doesn't belong to someone else. And it's not an external conversation. It's an internal value is an internal conversation. I want you to think about the things that make you scarce. Things that make me scarce are the things that I'm able to help my clients see to affect change, package their knowledge, price to value their gifts, how to market when you don't have a list, you've never marketed before, you're not high tech, you don't have this big old team. How can you do it in the most simplistic ways like I have done over the years to work less than 10, 15 hours a week with the actual implementation in my business. And I focus the rest of my time on actually being able to serve my clients and helping them get their results. It's a different model. How can you build a business around what you're scarce at? I want you to think about that. And the fourth thing I also want you to think about and why you are not meant to follow the rules is that you were meant to take risk. You were meant to take risk. And a lot of us are not really living in our highest potential because you playing it too safe. You are. Ask yourself, what was the last risk that you took? Life is about betting on yourself. And sometimes the older you become, the less bets you take, right? Less chances you want to take. It becomes a safe thing. But what I have found for myself is that all of my greatest accomplishments have come from hanging from the skinny branch. It's really taking that risk and just trying the unknown and seeing what's on the other side of fear. And if you're not dancing with fear, I don't care at what age you are, then you are really not inviting into yourself the possibilities of the next. When you face fear, you get to live with a completely different perspective and gift inside of yourself. I told this story over the years. I started a triathlon team for women about 10 years ago, and I couldn't swim. Maybe it was 15 years ago, somewhere in there. And I had 11 women join the first team, and none of them could swim. One could swim a little bit, but I could not swim at all. And we also had to open water swim. And one of the things that I had to do in order to prepare for that race was I had to I had to one, learn to basic swimming, like how to put my head underwater, but two, I had to learn to endurance swim. And then three, I had to learn to open water swim because we were swimming in a lake. And the funny thing is that I had 9 months to prepare. Now think about this. My entire life, I'm 40, 41, something like that. And I learned to swim in 9 months and to prepare for a triathlon. The mind is powerful. And I'll never forget it on race day when I finished my swim, or I was about to finish. And when you approach your swimming in the beginning, the people look really small on the other side of the lake or wherever you're swimming because you're further away from them. But as you begin to uh, in that swim, everyone starts looking more life size, right? And I remember thinking when I was looking at everyone on my return, wow, I must be an amazing swimmer. See, there's something really awesome about facing your fears. When you do, you get to live with a new gift. And not only do you get to live with a new gift, you get to live with a new you. And if you're not taking risks, it's time to do it. See, the rules were never made for us. We are, you stop following them, playing it safe, doing everyone else is doing, and you're going to get that life. If you want to live a life that is unrecognizable 6 months, 1 year from now, get on the skinny branch, hang from the skinny branch. I'd love to show you how. And then number five, the fifth thing that I want you to understand about why the rules were never made for you in the first place, and so you can stop following them, is investing in yourself at the highest level. And I know that you will likely listening to this, you're already an investor. And a lot of times we have an interesting relationship with investment that some of us, we have invested in the earlier years in our life so that we can begin to build our careers. Others have, over the course of our lives, have continued to invest in certifications or different degrees so that we could prove to others and even to ourselves that we are good enough, right? But there's a different type of investment that I want you to think about. And it's the investment in your mindset. It's the investment in like your out of the box dreams and goals. See, I was smart and sharp always, like since high school, right? Literally. But one of the things that I needed for myself was I needed a different level of education. And it was not a conventional education that I was seeking. Hey there, guys. I was needing examples of people my own ambition level and above. Hear me on this. And a lot of times you're going to have to invest to find people your own ambition level and above. And I'm going to break this down to you guys, and you're going to know I'm telling you the truth. Because if you're in a family where you're the most educated, let's be clear, they all have believe that you have arrived. If you're in a family structure or you have a friendship structure and you're that six-figure earner and you've got, the house and the cars and you have the trappings of what people believe success is, then those folks aren't really saying, hey, what's your next level? And you can become very comfortable, and comfort is the enemy of progress. So my recommendation to you is what I've done over the years is I've always made investments in myself at my own ambition level and above. And investing is one of those things that it makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but it's very important. It determines the people that you are investing with and learning with. They become your running buddies. They become the people your own ambition level and above that are pulling for you at a different level. They become the people who show you what it can look like when you have excuses about starting your business. Is it possible, to do it? It's really interesting. I love sharing with my clients examples of other women in our community who have faced their fears, made investments, and created amazing, massive results by changing their mindset, by being immersed with other people who have been dared to do different things. And if that is what you are seeking, then I know that this was totally for you. Today, what I wanted to talk about very simply is that the rules were never made for you. So stop following them. And if you have been reluctant to go for it, right? And you've been circling this idea of starting a business, growing your business, but you haven't figured it out yet, I want to invite you to set up some time to book a call with me. I'd love to support you in understanding what it can look like. If you've been watching me for a while, then I also want to encourage you to set up some time. And I'm going to post a link here that will support you. One second. And being able to book a call. And there, on that call, I have the opportunity to see what the possibilities can look like for you, how you can be in your own category of one, packaging what you do, your education, your expertise, and your experience into a high ticket product on or offline, how you can lead from the front with your gifts and your talents and your skills, how you can become scarce. And as a result of that, your values shoot through the roof. Instead of you being afraid of being different, you understand that that's your call out. That's the thing that allows people to come to you directly. How you will develop the tolerance to take risks and do things in your life that you've been thinking about, but maybe you haven't said yes quickly to, because I think that's important. You can say, I'm going to make a change, but if you are this person, you have to process everything for a long period of time. Life just passes you by. Okay. And how you can invest in yourself at the highest and tallest level, because it's your responsibility. It's one you. Okay. And investing in your own mindset is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. I hope that there is something that I said today that really supports you. I did post a link for you to be able to book a call right here on this live stream. So make sure you check the comment section. And I'd love to support you or answer any questions that you might have about what your next level can look like. You can do it. I know it. I'll talk to you soon. Have an amazing rest of your day. Are you interested in packaging your knowledge into a high ticket product on or offline? If your answer is yes, the Giant Experience is for you. Here's my story. I got started in my business over 20 years ago, and I simply made the decision to go to work as myself. And maybe you have been wondering how you can take all of those years of experience, your knowledge, or your degrees, and put them to use for yourself and to package it into a monetizable structure. That was me 20 years ago. I wanted to figure out how to take my background as a corporate trainer, and I realized that so many women wanted to know exactly how I was able to write best-selling books, and having done partnerships with both Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies and get signed to media, Emmy-nominated and nationally syndicated television shows as the mom strategist. And so I decided to equally transfer what I knew how to do to them. And I built out a coaching practice that today has coached thousands of women just like you who are ambitious, smart, and sharp, highly actionable, go-getters. And they wanted to figure out how they could go to work for themselves.